Now then, people, and good morning, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is another Leeds United update, the latest on Leeds United. Before we get into the video, smash a like, get your comments in, hit the notification bell, and of course, hit that subscribe button. And please don't forget to join me and the rest of the midweek fix lads, Max, JT, and Lewis tonight at 8:30 as we come together and discuss everything concerning Leeds United. But let's start, first of all, with some huge transfer news. Yesterday, Fabrizio Romano was doing a podcast and was asked about American international, currently at RB Leipzig, Leeds United's feeder club, the Red Bull conglomerate, are now our feeder club. He was asked the question about Tyler Adams and if he was going to be leaving this summer. And Fabrizio said, yes, my feeling is yes. Many clubs are exploring this possibility, including the only club he did name check, Leeds United. But at the moment, still nothing has been agreed upon. I believe Seville and Benfica are also in close contact over a move. Obviously, Benfica just moved Darwin Núñez. You know, they've got money. Yeah, they've got money. Seville, Benfica, they're hard clubs for us to contend with when going for a player. But we have an ace in the pack. And that ace in the pack, of course, is Jesse Marsch. Because anyone that has ever worked with Jesse has only ever spoke well of him. Erling Haaland, who's just come to Manchester City, who will get to see at Ellen Road, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. He speaks so well of him. You know, that's why we got Aronson. That's why we got, Christensen. Because these players speak so highly and think so highly of Jesse Marsch. And, of course, Tyler Adams worked with him at Leipzig and at New York Red Bulls at the start of his career. Tyler Adams is a fantastic player and someone that would be great business if Leeds United were to bring him in. My only caveat to that is I don't think we see Tyler Adams come to Ellen Road and pull on a Leeds United shirt unless Calvin Phillips leaves. And I believe that's when Leeds United will make their interest concrete if Calvin was to move across the Pennines to the blue side of Manchester. I believe Marc Roja is brought in to play alongside Calvin. He is that extra body in midfield that Leeds United have needed since we signed Adam Forshaw all them windows ago. Okay, I know a lot of people believe Roja was his replacement. That isn't the case. For me, Tyler Adams is being sounded out. Leeds United are putting their interest out there, looking at potential players if Calvin was to make the move to Manchester City. You could argue as well, there's people out there that will disagree. There's people out there that will agree. But if we were to follow a certain model, i.e. a Leicester City model, and we were to move Calvin on, I think and sort of agree with people's sentiment that actually come the end of the window, if KP was to leave, and I don't want him to, big caveat, don't want him to, but was then replaced, if you like, with Roja and Tyler Adams, plus the fee you've got for Calvin, say 60, 70 million, that's good business. That's Victor Orta operating as he should as a sporting director. That is a great window. Now, I don't want to lose Calvin, and I'd love to see Tyler Adams come in as an addition, but I don't see that happening. Like, he's leaving Leipzig to go be a star. He's not going to make that move to then play second fiddle to Calvin Phillips. And it would be a big chunk of money that we would need to pay. So I don't look, as much as I'd love Tyler Adams, and I remember the day after we, confirmed survival, I spoke about Tyler Adams, Aronson, etc. The videos there. But I just see him being the replacement for Calvin, and Leeds United doing their due diligence as they should as a club, that if Calvin does move, he comes in. I've seen a lot of reports or little bits out there that apparently Calvin's bought a new house in Cheshire and he's going to move out there. I mean, I told you weeks ago that he just bought a new house in a certain part of Leeds. And I have that very good authority from when I was on my Gary Speed walk. So that's what turned my tide and made me think that the lad's staying for another year. He wants to stay in Leeds. He loves Leeds. We've stayed in the Premier League. I don't know about these reports of house in Cheshire. I guess it's guesswork, but I don't believe them, is what I'm saying. I think Calvin gives us one more year. But if he doesn't, and he does move on, he would go with my blessing. Let me just say that, because Manchester City, huge club. But we have a replacement ready there in Tyler Adams. More breaking news is, of course, the fact that Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, Champions League, Tottenham Hotspur, Antonio Conte's Tottenham Hotspur have joined the race to sign Raphinha. We know that Leeds United are open to selling Raphinha, probably more so than they are Calvin, provided the club's valuation of the player is met, which is between 60 to 70 million, which is a fair, a fair amount in today's market. And of course, Leeds United as a club are sympathetic to his ambition. They understand that Rafinha wants to play at the pinnacle of football. That's why he made that move from Rennes Premier League to get himself noticed. Then he wants to move. Of course, his hopes and prayers, and we know he's a religious man, we've seen that after Bournemouth, would be to rock up at the Nou Camp for the Catalan Giants, where his family member and idol, Ronaldinho, was. Where his agent, Deco, played. We know that he wants that move to the Spanish Giants, and he's wanted that for months. They've wanted it for the months. He's their number one target. He's the new Brazilian poster boy. It makes sense. But, of course, the caveat is Barcelona's financial situation is in disarray. They are in debt up to their eyeballs. You know what I mean? They can't be getting no credit cards, no nothing anymore. It's a madness. The Sharks are circling. The Sharks are circling because they know that he's probably not going to be at Leeds United next season. And if that deal to Barcelona can't be done, they're ready. We know that Bayern Munich, we know that Liverpool hold an interest. We're told now that Chelsea do as well. But Chelsea also want Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. So they're tracking that one as well. But the Tottenham one, for me, when I read it, I was like, when I seen the Arsenal one the other day, for example, yes, they can offer him Europa League. That's not enough for Raphinha. I'm sorry to say it. Maybe I'm holding him in too much of a high regard, but the guy should be at a Champions League club. And I sort of laughed that off. But the Tottenham one, I was a bit like, Antonio Conte, Kane's son, Bissouma, Perisic. Conte's building something there with the help of Paratici. Paratici's doing his due diligence as well. He's looking at a number of targets. Of course, we know that they're linked to Richarlison. Maybe it's a ploy in terms of let's put a Raphinha story out there so we can, rush Richarlison into a deal. I mean, they're out of saying they're not getting both, which won't make sense anyway. And the one stumbling block for me is the fact that they have Kulusevski. And any player, after speaking with Matt, for example, from the Tottenham blog, knows his stuff. Any player that would come in would be like heavy rotational player, play 20 to 25 games. Maybe not be a starter, although I see Raphinha usurping Kulusevski. That's just my opinion in that side. And, Tottenham are starting to build something there. And they have a great coach in Antonio Conte. So that could well be a viable option for Raphinha. I don't want him to go to Chelsea. I don't see him moving to Liverpool just because of the reliance on Salah and him being in his position, and he's probably not fancying that. I'm not sure on Munich, but Tottenham one, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. But the good thing is, from a Leeds United perspective, is that we have all these clubs after him: Bayern, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, Barca. There's 5 top elite clubs that are not short of cash. So the perfect scenario for Leeds United is a bidding war. Let's start that bidding war. Who's going to shoot the first shot? You know what I mean? And then let's start that ball rolling. Because Raphinha wants to move on. He's only got 2 years left. He's not going to sign a new deal. Leeds United need to, get their asset while it's at its peak. And hopefully these clubs start to bid. And then Leeds United can, get some good money in and maybe buy Tyler Adams as a third midfielder. Maybe we don't need him just as a direct replacement for Calvin. Maybe we can throw the cash around a little bit like that. Or on the alternative, he stays with Leeds United, has a barnstorming World Cup, Brazil win the World Cup, because it ain't going to be England after last night's showing, and he goes in January for 100 mil. Do you know what I mean? So, look, I know we all want Raphinha to stay. But I think the most realist Leeds fans have to accept that he's not going to. And this is the perfect scenario for Leeds. Bidding more, barnstorming World Cup, selling for even more. It's good. And it's great recruitment from the club. to pay what they paid for him, they're going to make that 10 times, you know? Not quite 10 times, that'd be 170 million, but you know what I mean. But listen, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.